It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I think someone shook our snow globe too hard because it sure is snowing today. Yeah, this is how much snow we've gotten just overnight. Quite a bit. Let's go out to the greenhouse and see how Joan is doing. Yeah, big fluffy flakes today. Luckily, there's not much wind. If it were windy and getting this much snow, it would be a snowstorm. Oh, I think I hear Joni. Joan! Hi! Hello, Joan. Do you see the snow coming down? Joan! You're getting covered in snow. Come here. Joan, come here. There's Snow Cat. Okay, I'll put you inside the house. Come on, let's go. Okay, into the house you go. Come on, show me where the door is. Wow, it's really snowing out here. Here's the door. Hold on. There we go. In you go. Yeah. Look at that snow coming down. So I need to shovel the driveway, clean the car off, just in case we need to use it today. Boy, that's a lot of snow coming. That is really going to accumulate too. It is the next day now, and the snow continues to come down. We've gotten a lot of snow in the last couple of days. Joni's heading out to the greenhouse with me. Come on, Joni, let's go. Yeah, you can see how much snow we've had. It's really starting to accumulate here.
Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I'm going to be working on this white ash tree. I repotted this tree last spring and I did quite a severe root pruning on it, and I wasn't sure. I was hoping the tree survived, and it did. I took it down to the bare minimum, I think. I'll show you a recap of the root pruning I did to this tree. So next I've got to clean up all these lumps. Alright, I'm going to start the cleanup work now. But I'm going to try and grow this as, a fairly smooth trunk. You can see on some of the other wounds how it kind of bulges up over the wound, so I'll want to carve it a little concave. That might be about as flush as I can get that. And then as the roots grow and this trunk thickens up, it'll kind of, and I'm sure there'll be a collar grow around here, and then someday it'll blend in. So the next one, I want to reduce this back, but I want to keep this living vein growing between these two cuts. So I won't take this one back as far. So let's have a look at the styling of the tree, see what I've got left here and where I want to take it. Here is a look at the tree now. So let me just go to where I kind of chose the front. Yes, definitely dead. So yeah, you can see it here. You can see the trunk color, and then there's a change in color. So this is all dead. So I better remove that. I'll come in with the ratcheting pruners. I'll just prune the top off first, just in case, I'm wrong. Hardwood. And I'm not wrong. You can see there's no green, there's no living tissue in here. It's absolutely dead. So, off it comes. I'll take it back to here. So here I go. Hopefully you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, so off it comes. Yeah, you can see it was green at the base and the top of it was dead. So I will nibble that back too. There it goes. Okay. That is out. So I'll work away. My goal is to bare root the tree, wash the root system. So I'll just work away carefully, and then we'll come back for the root pruning. I have got the root system washed, bare rooted. I'm just making sure it stays moist while I do the root pruning. I'll have to rewash it again. There's still some field soil in here from the garden, but I want to do some preliminary root work first, and then I can wash it further. So here is a look at the root system. So there's one root here. Here's the radial direction, and it's cranked way over. So there's that big lump of a root here. Whew. So I probably should saw that off. You can see the trunk comes down, it curls around to that big giant root. It would be nice to saw it off. And I can do that. I'm just worried about, damaging roots in the process. But I think if I come in from this angle, I can do it. So I'm going to do that. I'll get my saw and I'll do it outside, and I'll just come in and saw that root off. Maybe I can even do it inside here. I think. Maybe not. Keep sawing. There it goes. Whoo! Big cut there. Holy. So there's my tree now. Big cut on the bottom. Wow. So that's a big step forward for the tree, getting that reduced. I can just nibble away a bit to make that a little more even on the bottom, or a little flatter. Yeah, I'll just take a bit off of here. Okay, I think that's about it. I think I've taken it down as far as I dare. Not much in this side. I took a few big roots off, but hopefully something will grow in this area now. Yeah, time will tell. Okay, it's time to plant the tree. I've got a pot picked out for the tree. It's, I think, the perfect size. Not too big, not too small. The roots fit in there nicely. Yeah, I think that'll be good. It's not a very good quality pot, but it'll do. At least for a year or two, and then I'll get it in a better pot. Here's a look at the tree now. I'll rotate it around, so I don't know where the front is, but rotating around. So now I have the roots sorted out on the tree, but the top of the tree isn't so good. It's kind of an awkward structure. The tree kind of curves up and then goes vertical. I used to have a branch here that I cut back hard, hoping to get some new growth on it. And instead of getting new growth, the branch just died back, so I cut it off. So I'm left with kind of this curved trunk, two vertical kind of trunk lines. But I have a branch at the side here that I'm going to grow and fill out this side of the tree, so it'll be more balanced instead of kind of a slanting tree. So I'm not going to touch this side of the tree. I'm just going to let that grow, thicken up, and fill out. And hopefully, someday it'll thicken up to the point where it kind of matches this trunk in diameter. It'll take a long time, but eventually it'll get there. So I'm going to prune up the tree, and a lot of this will just be cleanup. I have a lot of stubs from summer pruning that I've got to cut back, and then I've got to do some branch selection. Here is a look at the tree. So you can see I've got a lot of branching up top,
but a lot of it is going the wrong direction and quite vertical. So I'm going to prune off a lot of these vertical shoots, keeping the branches that fan outwards, trying to develop more of a crown to the tree rather than just all the growth being upright. So the trunk is getting quite nice on the tree. It doesn't have the mature bark that an ash tree gets eventually with age. You can see it's starting to get a bit of crackling in this area, but most of it is quite smooth. And a mature white ash gets kind of striped bark, vertical stripes going up the trunk. And it's quite a nice looking bark on the trees. And you can see here, there's a lot of stubs that I need to clean up from previous prunings. I'm going to begin the pruning now, and the first step will be cleaning up all these stubs. So I'll take them off, all the stubs up the middle. There's one there, there's one here. So they seem to divide really nicely. Wherever I pruned it, I seem to have gotten at least 2 branches come out, which is nice. Responds well to clip and grow. Here's one that I pruned, and I've got 3 branches developed, so I'll pick my best 2 and prune out the rest. There's one here that I pruned and I only got 1 tip coming off, but if I prune this tip back, it'll probably stimulate another branch to grow. Sometimes you just have to be patient and kind of keep working towards ramification on the trees. Go. Now, here's another stub like that. And I think, oh, there's some stubs here too. And here. Yeah, like this branch, I pruned it and I got 1 little shoot coming here, but there's a strong bud on the other side that'll come out. Okay, so that's got all my stubs pruned up or cleaned up. Yeah, everything else is looking good on the tree. So now I can start my branch selection. Here's a look at the top of the tree. So my goal is to keep the branches that are fanning out, and any that are going more vertical I'll prune away. So on this branch you can see it, I pruned it and it divided from 1 to 3. So I'm going to take off this shoot that's on the inside growing vertical, keeping my better 2 branches. And then this branch, I have buds here and then a tip bud, so I'm going to prune it off, stimulating those buds to grow. This branch coming out here, again I've got buds here and a tip bud, so I'll take this off. And this one I can take the tip off like that. I have a vertical shoot going up the middle here, and I don't think I want that. I've got this branch dividing from 1 to 2 here, or 3, and I just want to keep the height down and keep my spreading branches rather than continuing this trunk line going vertical. So I've got like a 3rd branch on the inside here I'm going to remove. So that one comes off. And then I'm going to take out this center shoot here. So I'll prune it with the ironwood ratcheting pruners. And that branch may be dead. You can see the living part of the trunk is kind of a greeny color, and this is a bit of a different color. So this may not even be alive. Let me see. It's hard to say. I don't think it is. So I'm going to prune it off roughly here.
like that, and then I'll clean that up with the knob cutters, taking it back. Yeah, that branch was dead. And it probably died because of the severe root pruning I did. It died off, and then the roots started growing and it sprouted new branches all around. But it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with the results, especially the root pruning. I gave it a really good root pruning to the point where it either makes the tree or breaks the tree, and luckily it didn't kill the tree. It survived and started growing quite nicely towards the end of summer. I think that's as far back as I want to take that, and I will seal it with my Titan multi-purpose rubber cement. It works really well. I used it on this tree last time I pruned it, and all the cuts did really well. You can see one here that I pruned and it healed over really nicely. Yeah. Okay, so that takes care of that major division. So you can see, instead of this trunk line continuing now, it branches out, which is much nicer. So next, I have a branch here. This one fans out really nicely. I've got buds back here, 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 and the tip. So I'm going to take it back to this set of buds here. So I'll prune it off here. This one's the same. I've got buds here, here, and the tip, so I'll take it back to here, leaving some room for dieback. On this branch, right here, I've got one that's growing vertically up the inside. This one fans out nicely. I'm going to remove this one totally. I don't want vertical branches. I want the spreading branches. And then I've got buds back here, 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 and here, so I'll take it off here. Now, here you can see on this branch, I pruned it off. It grew a new branch out here, but this stub died back and it's dead. I could see the difference in color. It died back right down to here. So I can remove the dead section. So I will come in and I'll just prune it roughly here. Tough wood, this ash tree. And the ash trees in nature in this area are all decimated by the emerald ash borer. And there's very, very few ash trees that survived. I don't think I've seen any mature ash trees around anymore. They all died from the ash borer. And a lot were cut down to prevent the spread. But generally, smaller trees survive. They only seem to go up in the higher canopies. So I'm hoping, this tree survives the emerald ash borer. This is a pretty ugly knob here. But I'll try and take it back to living tissue and no further. I don't want to risk losing this branch. Otherwise, I would lose this whole trunk line. Oh, I hear Joni wants to come in. She wanted to play outside in the snow. Is that you, Joni? Let's get Joni inside. So I've taken this back to living tissue all around. It's not the most graceful looking cut in the world, but it's better than what was there. So I'll seal it up with the rubber cement. Kind of makes it waterproof. And with a lot of growth on this branch, it will eventually heal over. It'll take a lot of growing to kind of roll that cut over. But someday it might get there. Next. So I've got this branch cleaned up. This one's good. Hi, Joni. I do have, off of that same branch, I have one growing up the middle here. And I can prune that back. I'm going to keep it. I don't want to take it off. So I've got buds down here and here, so I'll take the tips off. I got buds down there and here, so I'll take the tip off here. Like that. Hi, Joni. On this branch, I have a vertical one and one that fans out. I will eventually prune this vertical one off, but for now I want to keep this branch strong, so I'm just going to take the tip off it. And in future I can remove this branch as this one strengthens up, because it's fanning out nicely. On this branch I do have, it divides into two here, and there's one kind of growing vertical. This one's on the outside of the tree, so I'm going to take off this middle one. Like that. Trying to keep everything fanning out if possible. And I think that's got the pruning done. Let's step back and have a look at the tree. Do you want to go outside, Joni? Okay, come on. Joni, there you go. You can go outside. Looks like it stopped snowing. Here's a look at the tree. So, yeah, it's a bit of an awkward looking tree. But I think as this strengthens up and grows, it'll balance the tree a bit. It'll kind of have a division. I'm not sure about these two trunk lines. I've got kind of two trunk lines growing beside each other, but I don't want to prune out one. At least not for now. It's something that maybe will come in the future, maybe not. It all depends how the tree grows. If I can fill this canopy in nicely, it may stay as a double trunk here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it's there's been a lot of cuts on this tree. This tree was grown in the front garden from a seed, and yeah, it's had a lot of cuts. But you know, it gives it character, and they're healing over nicely. I think it'll be a good looking tree someday. I was just happy to get that root system sorted out finally. They were pretty rough, and now there'll be a pretty good root base on this tree in the future. It's probably the best thing going for the tree, as it has sorted out roots now. So I won't be repotting it this year. I'll just let it grow in this container for another year. And yeah, we'll see how it does. Try and keep growing it, and hopefully someday I'll get that nice striped ash bark on it, and I hope to get, you know, the canopy filling out and getting it to be a good looking tree someday. But at the moment it's not much to look at. Before we go today, I'll show you some examples of mature white ash trees in nature or in cities, to give you an idea of what the bark looks like and what the branch structure looks like on a mature white ash tree. If anything, this tree is an example of balancing risk and reward. So I took quite a risk pruning up this root base, but the reward will become in the future as those roots mature and thicken and I improve the root base. It might become the best feature of the tree. Yeah, so that is my white ash tree. It's on its way to becoming a bonsai. I have a plan for the styling of it, and it just will take time and pruning and patience to grow it into a nice tree for the future. So that is all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.